Your AI-generated code just passed CI/CD, deployed, and is now silently corrupting production data. You are already shipping it. The answer is complicated. And it should worry you. 1.7 times more bugs, 3 times worse readability, 8 times more performance problems. And those are the ones you catch. You will hit a debugging cliff. This velocity comes with a hidden cost, a new class of system design debt. We will unpack that. 56% of developers now do 70% of their work with AI. There is a failure mode hiding inside that number. We will get there. This shift also redefines what senior means. We will explore that transformation. I use AI for most of my code. I built 4 YouTube channels with it. I will show you where it fails and how it reshapes careers. But this efficiency masks a critical vulnerability in your mental model. We will expose it. In January 2026, Gurgly Oros at the Pragmatic Engineer surveyed nearly 1,000 developers. 95% use AI tools weekly, and you probably do too. That is not the interesting number. 75% use AI for half or more of their work. And the tool they love most? Claude Code, 46%. Anthropic released their own report this month. Developers use AI in 60% of their work. Only 20% is fully delegible, and you feel that gap. Read that gap again. 60% usage, under 20% delegation. That means 80% of AI-assisted work still needs you staring at the output. You are not coding less, you are reviewing more. And most of you are not trained for that. In December 2025, CodeRabbit published the first large-scale study comparing AI code to human code, 320 AI pull requests, 150 human only. The headline: AI code creates 1.7 times more bugs than human code. Critical and major issues, not style nits, and you are reviewing them. But the breakdown matters more than the headline. Logic errors up 75%. Security vulnerabilities up 1.5 to 2 times. A senior engineer told me, my job used to be writing code. Now it is endlessly reviewing AI-generated garbage for subtle flaws. As one expert put it, these are not just bugs. They are fundamental system design flaws waiting to explode in production. But here is what nobody mentions. The real danger is not the bug count, but the type of bugs. And the one that should scare you. Performance problems. 8 times more frequent. Excessive I/O calls, redundant queries, memory leaks that surface at scale. This is not a craftsmanship problem. It is an architecture problem. AI generates code that fails silently under load, and you have to fix it. Augment Code published a taxonomy of how AI-generated code fails. 8 patterns. Every developer I know has hit at least 3. Number 1. Hallucinated APIs. The model calls a method that does not exist. It compiled, it crashed in staging, you debugged it. One developer lamented, I spent 3 days debugging a phantom method call, only to discover I just made it up entirely. Number 2. Missing edge cases. A tie writes the happy path beautifully. Empty arrays, null pointers, time zone conversions, concurrent writes. Invisible until your user finds them. But that is only half the story. The real problem is deeper. I once sat across from a team lead who shipped an AI-written payment flow. It worked for 3 months. Daylight savings broke the retry logic. You saw the panic. The root cause. AI models are trained on public repositories. Your production constraints are not in that training data. Your business logic is not in that training data. Remember that debugging cliff I mentioned? Here is how it works, and you are already on it. But here is what nobody mentions. Here is where it gets structural. When you write code, you build a mental model. You know why each line exists. You can debug it because you built it. Now here is where it gets interesting. Remember that critical vulnerability in your mental model? When AI writes your code, that mental model vanishes. You are reading someone else's solution to your problem, and that someone has no memory of why. Stack Overflow published a piece in January. Are bugs and incidents inevitable with AI agents? Their conclusion was not reassuring. You need to understand why. The debugging cliff works like this. AI generates code in seconds. You accept it. Weeks later it breaks. Now you are debugging code you never wrote. Under production pressure. That is the trap. Speed going in. Debt coming out. Remember how I said careers are changing? Here is the data on who is being left behind, and you need to see it. Zoom out from code quality. Junior developer hiring at big tech dropped from 32% of new hires in 2019 to 7% today. You are impacted. Entry-level positions. 73% hiring drop in 1 year. Job postings up 47%. Actual hiring down 73%. Bait and switch. One Series A startup cut their junior dev team from 8 to 3 after adopting Copilot. Same output, fewer people. You should be aware. Computer science graduates face 6.1% unemployment. Workers 22 to 25 in AI roles down 6%. 35 to 49 up 9%. Remember how AI redefines senior? It is not about replacing them, but changing how they are made. You need to adapt. Meanwhile, the tools keep accelerating. Anthropic's report describes the shift this way. Software development is moving from writing code to orchestrating agents that write code. 55% of developers now regularly use AI agents, not chatbots, agents. Systems that plan, execute, and iterate without you watching every keystroke. Rakuten tested Claude code on 12.5 million lines. 7 hours autonomous. 99.9% accuracy. You might wonder how. No human code contribution during execution. 0. And it worked. So which is it? 1.7 times more bugs? Or 99.9% accuracy? Both. And that contradiction is the entire story. Here's the failure mode I promised you. The difference between Rakuten's success and the average developer's bugs is not the AI. It is the human in the loop. Rakuten had senior engineers who understood the codebase, who defined the constraints precisely, who validated the output against known behavior. The AI was the tool. Architecture was the skill. The developers shipping bugs? They are using AI as a replacement for thinking. Accept, commit, push. No architecture. No constraint definition. No validation. Anthropic calls it agent supervision. I call it what it always was. Engineering judgment. The one thing you cannot automate. Remember that new class of system design debt? AI is not writing your code faster. It is expanding the surface area of what gets built. More code. More attack surface. More debt. So what do? You are not going to stop using AI tools. Neither am I. But you need guardrails, and most teams have none. First, never accept generated code you cannot explain line by line. If you cannot debug it, you do not own it. Second, write the architecture before the prompt. Define your constraints, your edge cases, your failure modes. Then, let AI fill in the implementation. Third, test what AI writes harder than what you write. The code rabbit data is clear. AI code needs more review, not less. Fourth, invest in understanding the systems underneath. The developers who thrive in 2026 are not the fastest prompters. They are the ones who understand architecture. CodeRabbit called 2025 the year of AI speed. They say 2026 is the year of AI quality. I think they are right. But quality does not come from better models. It comes from better engineers. The question is not whether you should use AI to code. You already do. The question is whether you are using it as a crutch or a lever. Think about which one. If this changed how you think about AI in your workflow, subscribe. Architecture, not tutorials. See you in the next one.